back. Today is going to be another short practice, just a full body continuous flow, working equally on strength and flexibility with some arm balances and standing balances peppered in. So not too much talk from me. When you're ready, come straight to downward facing dog to start. So just starting with your hands shoulder width apart, feet roughly hip width apart, spreading through their fingertips and just grounding down through all four corners of the palms. So you ground down through the knuckle edges of your hand as much as you press down into the heel of your hand. And just allow the head to dangle heavy. Sometimes it helps to release the neck, to just gently nod and shake the head from side to side. And so if you're someone that likes to pedal out the feet, you can have a little pedal here or a sway of the hips from side to side, just starting to mobilize around the hip joints and the ankles, and slowing and deepening the breath. And just taking this moment before you begin your practice today to just check in with your motivation for being here. And just reminding yourself why you've chosen to come to your mat today. And this will set your intention for your practice and give your practice a lot more power behind the movements that we do today. So we'll stay here for 5 more full deep breaths. Just trying to wrap the shoulder blades away from each other. And push the thigh bones as far back as you can, so you get lots of length and space through the spine. And then when you're ready from here, start to take an inhale breath. Kick your right heel to the sky behind you and just pause with this for a couple of breaths. Really kick the right heel as high as you can. And we're going to start immediately with a slight arm balance, a modified side plank. So one more inhale breath. And then as you exhale, bend the knee, take a quick squeeze into the tummy, push down into the floor and round through the spine. And then gently lower the knee down so it stacks directly beneath your hip. Rolling over onto the right hand. And then kind of like a little half moon pose. Start to extend the left foot so the outside edge of your left foot's in line with the back of your mat, and extend the top arm, look up. Taking 2 more breaths here. And then when you're ready, on an exhale breath, just start to pick the back foot up and then bend the knee, squeeze it in towards your tummy, and place the foot to the front of your mat. So we end up in a low lunge on the left side. If you come short in your stance, you can wriggle the back knee away. And then breathe in. So you're just trying to puff the chest up. You can always lift the hands if it helps you find more space. And exhale, move the hips back. So a pretty continuous flow today, just moving and breathing. So your inhale brings you forward into low lunge, lifting the chest. So you're stretching through the hip flexor in this back leg. Exhale your way into half split. So we'll add on now. Inhale, come forward, bend into this front knee. Reach the arms forward and up. And then exhale, float the hands if you can now as you move the hips back into half split. Extend the arms. Inhale, bend forward. Tuck the tailbone forward as you lift the chest. Engage the tummy. Exhale again, slowly. Float the hands behind you as you tip the chest forward. This time finding our way to high lunge. So inhale, bend forward, sweep the arms up, tuck the back toe under, lift the back knee. Taking 3 more breaths here. Still curling the tailbone forward, drawing in the tummy muscles, lift the ribs. So you just start to find a slightly active back bend. And then moving with the breath here. Inhaling, slowly start to straighten the front legs. We're looking to just build heat to start with. Exhale, bending forward. Inhale to straighten. And exhale, bend. Keep the back leg straight. Inhale to straighten. lower the hands, stepping your way into our first plank pose. So hug the forearms towards each other, pull the belly in. You always have the option to drop the knees if you're building strength in your arms. Stay for one more inhale breath. First chaturanga of the class. Exhale, chest comes forward so you have that right angle. Elbows stack over the wrists as you lower to the tummy or to a hover. Inhale then, cobra, so you could stay low here with the hip bones down in cobra, or upward facing dog, so the hip bones lift, thighs are strong, tummy strong. On your legs, exhale, push the hips up and back into downward facing dog, and just take 3 or 4 breaths here. Just resetting, stretching out through the shoulders, so really draw the lower tummy in as you press the chest back towards the thighs. From here, coming to the left foot, so inhale, kick the left heel to the sky behind you, lengthen, hold for a couple of breaths. Keep actively lifting the back heel high. One more inhale breath. Exhale, bend the knee forward into the chest, so chest comes forward, so you're more of a plank position. Push down into the floor, so you're trying to round your upper back upwards towards the ceiling. And then slowly lower the knee so it stacks again below the hip. Turning the back heel down, so like a warrior 2. And then extend and reach the right arm up towards the ceiling. So you might be surprised how wobbly it feels. It is definitely a balance as well. So as we come to work in more advanced side plank towards the end of the class, this is always your option to modify by having this bottom knee down. Bring your gaze back to the floor. And then as you exhale, start to bend the top elbow in, bend this front knee forward, squeeze the tummy muscles, and again step the foot to the front of the mat. Widen your stance, you just slide the back knee away. Inhale, puff the chest forward, so fingertips can come up if that helps. Exhale, move the hips back, kick the toes back towards your shin to stretch into the hamstring. Breathe in, bend forward, lift the chest. And exhale, move the hips back, flex the toes towards you. 2 more. Inhale, bend forward. Exhale to move the hips back. This time, inhale, bend forward, and then start to lift the chest. Reach the arms up. And then exhale, float the hands back, toes flex back towards you. Breathing in, bend forward, reach up, tuck the tailbone forward. And exhale, float the hands back into your Ardha Hanumanasana. This time, inhale, bend forward, sweep the arms up, tuck the back toe under, lift the back knee. So you end up here in high lunge. Shrug the shoulders down away from the ears. And that can sometimes give you a little bit more space to take the upper arm bones back further. And then continuing to build this heat, so inhale to straighten the front leg and exhale to bend as deep as you comfortably can. Breathing in to straighten up and exhale to bend. Last one, just letting your breath lead you in and out. Hands come down. Stepping the back foot to plank pose. Inhale, knees can drop down. Exhale, come forward, so all the way to your tummy or just to a little hover, so it's more like a press up as you inhale your way into your back bend. Exhale, downward dog, or if you need a rest, you can always drop the knees and sit the bum back into child's pose for a few breaths. Good, so when you're ready, we'll come back to the right side, heading into Warrior 1. As you inhale, kick the right heel to the sky behind you and lengthen. Exhale, step this foot forward between the hands. Turn the back foot or back heel down, so the back foot's diagonal with the back of your mat. Circle the arms forward and up. So you get less depth now in the front thigh, but you're really just looking to try to square the hip bones as far forward as you can. Once you're set here, ground down through the back foot, take another inhale breath, and then exhale, lower the chest, reach the arms behind you. Inhale, sweep the arms forward and up. And exhale, lower forward. Breathing in, reaching up. Exhale, lower forward. Slowly start to roll onto the toes of your back foot. So you're now back in a lunge position. Keep the arms behind you. Rock forward, if I can avoid headbutting the door in front of me. Warrior 3. So coming into this little T shape. Lifting the chest. So chest is proud. Chin is lifting towards the front wall. And then when you're ready from here, moving into eagle pose. So sweeping that back leg out in front, bend into your standing knee, cross the left thigh over the right thigh. Hands can come to the hips just while you set the legs up. So if the toes don't comfortably bind around the standing calf, you can just leave them floating, or for a bit more support in your balance today, the toes can tap down to the floor. From here, the right arm will cross underneath the left. So tight shoulders. If the bind causes a great amount of restriction for you, you can just stay wrapping the hands around the shoulder blades. Lift the elbows up. Otherwise, back to the hands, move towards each other until the palms can wrap. Sitting down into your standing leg, lifting the elbows up. Taking just a couple more breaths here. Moving into half moon next. So if you're feeling wobbly, step out completely and come into the pose as if it's the first time or you're completely from standing. Otherwise, we're going to unravel and flow our way into half moon. So right fingertips come down to the floor. Left toes turn to face the left wall. And then you're trying to turn the chest, turn the tummy, so as if you were trying to make the bottom half of your belly face the ceiling, so it feels like a twist as you open. And then if you really want to test your balance, you can turn your gaze to look up at the top thumb. Moving into warrior 2 from here with as much control as you can muster, gaze back to the floor, bend into your standing knee, and then step the left foot to the back of your mat, warrior 2. Brief reverse warrior as you inhale, reaching back, keep the depth in the front thigh. Exhale, cartwheel the arms up and over, moving through a vinyasa, so breathing into your plank pose, modify if you need. Exhale, lower 3. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, downward facing dog, just 3 breaths, resting, child's pose if you need it. So preparing for warrior 1. Inhale, kick the left heel to the sky behind you. Exhale, step forward, turn the back heel down. Inhale, rise up, squaring the body forward. Keep grounding through the outside edge of the back foot. One more inhale breath here, then we'll flow. Exhale, lower the chest, reach the hands back. Inhale to rise up. Exhale, lower forward. Just 2 more like this. Let your breath lead you. So the inhale lifts you upward. The exhale takes you forward. Inhale to rise. Exhale to fold. Stay here. Pause and hover. Grounding into the front foot. Roll onto the toes of the back foot. Again, I'm close to headbutting the door. Hopefully you're not. Rock forward. And pick the right heel up. So just a couple of breaths in warrior 3. If you really wanted to intensify, I don't have the room, but you can extend the arms overhead. Hands come to the hips for eagle pose. So swing the right foot forward, or right leg forward. Cross the right thigh over the left thigh as you sit down into your standing leg. So you can float the right foot or wrap the toes around the standing calf. And then the left arm will cross under the right. Bend at the elbows. So again, tighter shoulders, might be quite happy to just stretch here, lifting up the elbows. Otherwise, drawing the hands towards each other, wrapping the palms. Sitting down into the legs, lifting the elbows up. So if you need extra support, step out, and find your way into half moon. If you're steady enough, then unravel everything. Left fingertips come to the floor. Right toes turn to face the right side wall. So we're opening across the hips here, staying really strong in this back leg. Keep flexing the toes of the back foot. Turning the chest open. If you want to test your balance, you can gaze up. I'm going to keep my gaze to the floor for this one. And then finishing in Warrior Two. Bend deep, keep your gaze point, and then step the right foot back. And exhale, extend, sit down into the front thigh. Inhale, cartwheel back into reverse warrior. And then exhale, windmill the arms forward. Step into your plank pose. Inhale at the top. Exhale to lower through. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale back, down facing dog. So, last arm balances and then a couple of twists to finish our practice for today. So for our side plank, if you're not modifying, going for the full variation, we're going to just start to roll onto the outside edge of the right foot. So sometimes we come more forward, but for today, keep this kind of diagonal V shape through the body. And then stack the left foot on top. So what this shape really allows us to do is take pressure out of the wrist as the shoulder is just back off the wrist. And then really work the waistline as you kind of lift up from the waist. So you can bend into the legs and then turn the chest open and push your legs towards straight. Bending the knees, roll over the toes to switch sides. So you move in from downward dog, roll to the outside edge of the left foot. So you have this little diagonal or more diagonal shape between the wrist and the shoulders. Extend the arms and then you can start to push towards straight, lifting up from the tummy. So again, I'm feeling wobbly, my gaze is down, but if you want to test your balance, your gaze can go to the ceiling. On your next exhale, lower the hands, press the hips back into your downward dog and just a little twist to finish our practice. So grounding down through hands and feet, it might help you to shorten your stance in downward dog by walking your feet in slightly. You can bend the knees if you need to. And then just start to take the weight over to the left. Right hand can reach for the outside edge of the left leg. So anywhere along the shin line, the closer to your ankle you get, the stronger the twist. And then just gently pull, turn your gaze underneath the standing arm. Replacing the right hand, switching sides. So left hand reaches for the outside of the right leg. You can turn your gaze to look underneath this front arm. And then hands come down. Slowly lower the knees. So just a seated posture to finish up. You can roll over onto your bum if that's more comfortable. Palms can be facing up or down. Just close the eyes. Slow your breath. And as always, the final instruction is to just stay here as long as you have the time for, or even take Shavasana if you have 5 to 10 minutes to rest at the end of your practice. Otherwise, just slowing your breath, reconnect, and if you've got a timer set for your kind of finish time, then end when you're ready to end your practice today. And thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next time. Namaste.